Hello and welcome back, everyone. In our last episode, we explored some of the most exciting developments shaping the cities of tomorrow. We delved into the Internet of Things and how it's transforming urban life, discussed the high-level architecture of IoT, and examined the convergence of IoT and AI to create smarter systems. We even looked at how these technologies are paving the way for green, sustainable cities.
It was fascinating to see how interconnected technologies like AI and IoT are laying the groundwork for smart cities that prioritize sustainability, efficiency, and inclusivity. But we've only just begun to scratch the surface.
That's right. In today's episode, we're taking the conversation a step further. We'll start by diving into the role of AI systems in smart cities, explore the obstacles to widespread IoT adoption, and discuss the future growth and the hype surrounding IoT.
And guiding us through this journey is Dr. Alok Agarwal's book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution and 100 Years of AI. It's an incredible resource that examines both the history and the future of AI, while connecting it to the broader technological shifts we're witnessing today.
So buckle up as we uncover what's next for AI, IoT, and the smart cities that are shaping the world of tomorrow. Let's dive in.
Okay, so one thing that really stood out to me was just how many sensors and devices a city like Barcelona might need to fully function as a smart city. Over 320 million. It's hard to even imagine.
It's a staggering number, but think of them as the city's nerve endings, constantly feeding data to a central system.
So, with all that information, AI can make precise decisions to optimize everything from individual buildings to the city's entire energy grid.
Exactly. Okay, let's start small. Buildings. They're often referred to as the building blocks of a smart city.
That's because buildings consume a significant amount of energy. AI, paired with IoT, can make a huge impact here. For example, managing heating and cooling systems, and even learning the unique energy signature of each appliance in a building.
That energy signature concept really intrigued me. Can you explain how that works?
Sure. Take your refrigerator as an example. It cycles on and off throughout the day, drawing different amounts of power. AI can track these variations and create a unique energy pattern for each appliance. This allows the system to manage energy use efficiently, ensuring devices are only on when needed without sacrificing comfort.
So it's not just about turning off lights when you leave a room. It's about understanding how energy is used at a deeper level.
Exactly. It also extends to forecasting, like optimizing HVAC systems based on temperature predictions, and even suggesting the best spots in a room for comfort based on sunlight and airflow.
That's incredible. Okay, so moving beyond buildings, water management seems to be another area where AI can make a big difference. Globally, we waste an enormous amount of water every year.
Right? The amount wasted could supply water to hundreds of millions of people. But cities like Barcelona are already making progress. For example, they've reduced water waste in parks and fountains by around 25% using sensors and AI.
How do these sensors work?
They measure factors like soil moisture, humidity, and evaporation rates. AI then analyzes this data to determine exactly how much water is needed, minimizing waste.
What about leaks? Can AI help there too?
Definitely. Smart meters combined with AI can detect unusual water flow patterns that indicate leaks or burst pipes. This early detection can save significant amounts of water and prevent damage.
And when it comes to water quality?
AI monitors parameters like pH levels, turbidity, and contaminants through sensors, allowing for rapid identification of issues. This ensures quicker intervention and helps protect public health.
AI seems to be playing the role of a guardian, safeguarding both the quantity and quality of water. Let's shift to transportation. Barcelona's parking system, for example, uses sensors to manage 80,000 spots, guiding drivers to open spaces and reducing congestion.
It's a great example of how AI can alleviate one of the most frustrating urban issues. Beyond parking, Barcelona also uses 50,000 smart streetlights that dim when no one's around, saving energy. There's even a driverless metro that adjusts routes based on passenger demand.
So the transportation system adapts in real time, almost like a living organism.
Exactly. AI can also optimize traffic flow by adjusting traffic light timings and speed limits based on real-time conditions, making transportation smoother and more efficient.
Let's talk about energy. AI is playing a critical role in planning the placement and capacity of power plants, especially with the rise of renewables like solar and wind.
That's a complex challenge because renewables are intermittent. The sun doesn't always shine, and the wind doesn't always blow. AI analyzes weather data, real-time conditions, and even satellite imagery to predict energy generation. This helps balance the grid and ensures consistent power supply.
AI acts like a conductor, harmonizing different energy sources.
Exactly. It also manages energy storage solutions like batteries and green hydrogen, smoothing out fluctuations in renewable energy production and ensuring a steady supply.
AI truly is at the heart of these smart city systems, transforming how we live, work, and move. It's exciting to see how cities are evolving with this technology. Now, last but not least, let's talk about something we all deal with: trash. Barcelona's smart bins are fascinating. They use an underground network to suck in waste. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It's an impressive system. Not only does it keep the streets cleaner, but it also helps the city analyze waste patterns to identify what can be recycled or even turned into energy. It's a real example of a circular economy.
So the city is essentially processing its own waste, making it useful again. But there's also this global issue. Around a third of all food produced each year is wasted. That's mind-boggling.
It's a huge problem, but AI can help. For instance, it can optimize delivery routes to reduce spoilage, improve demand forecasting to prevent overstocking, and streamline supply chains to minimize waste.
So AI could really transform how we handle food waste from the farm all the way to the table.
Exactly. There are even futuristic applications, like AI-powered sensors in refrigerators that alert you when food is about to spoil, so you can use it or donate it in time.
That would be amazing. AI's impact on cities is clearly vast, touching everything from waste and food to water, energy, and transportation. What stands out most to you from all we've discussed?
What strikes me is how interconnected everything is becoming. Buildings, water systems, transportation, energy, and waste management are all becoming smarter and more efficient thanks to AI. It's like cities are evolving into living organisms, adapting, learning, and improving.
It's a lot to take in, but it's exciting to think about the potential. At the same time, these advancements come with challenges.
Absolutely. As cities rely more on technology, issues like privacy become critical. With sensors collecting data on energy use, movements, and more, there's a real risk of misuse.
That's true. It's about finding a balance, improving services while safeguarding privacy. Transparency is key. Cities need to be clear about what data they're collecting, how it's used, and what protections are in place.
Exactly. It's also important to consider bias in AI systems. If these systems are trained on biased data, they could reinforce inequalities.
That's a big concern. For instance, if AI uses biased crime data, it could unfairly target certain neighborhoods or groups.
Right, which is why diverse teams and representative data are essential in building and monitoring AI systems. Ensuring fairness and accountability is just as important as technological advancement.
AI has the potential to transform cities for the better, but it's clear we need to be thoughtful about how we implement it. Okay. Now, let's dive into the economic side of this. These technologies have the potential to create new jobs and boost efficiency, but there's also concern about job displacement. What happens to the people whose roles are automated by AI?
That's a valid concern, and we need to be proactive. Like any major technological shift, there will be winners and losers. The key is investing in education and retraining programs to help workers adapt to new roles.
So preparing for the jobs of the future. What kinds of skills will be in demand in a smart city?
A mix of technical and social skills. We'll need data scientists, software engineers, and cybersecurity experts to design and maintain these systems. But we'll also need urban planners, social workers, and community organizers to ensure the technology serves people's needs and creates better living conditions.
It's not just about making cities smart, it's about making them equitable and inclusive. Speaking of inclusion, what about the risk of a digital divide?
That's a real challenge. Access to these technologies shouldn't be limited to a privileged few. Cities need to prioritize equitable access to ensure everyone benefits from smart city innovations.
Agreed. Let's shift to sustainability. Smart cities promise to use resources more efficiently and reduce environmental impact. But what about the environmental cost of the technology itself?
That's a crucial point. We need to consider the full life cycle of these technologies. from the materials used in production to energy consumption and disposal. Energy-efficient design, sustainable manufacturing, and responsible e-waste management are essential for truly sustainable smart cities.
So sustainability isn't just about outcomes, it's about the entire process. What do you think is the biggest challenge cities face in this transformation?
It's less about the technology and more about governance. How do we ensure these powerful tools are used responsibly and ethically? Who decides how they're implemented? Ensuring that everyone has a voice in shaping the future of their city is critical.
It's a question of democracy. Technology is just a tool. It can be used for good or bad, depending on how we wield it.
Exactly. The real work lies in open conversations about values, priorities, and goals. Technology can guide us, but we must decide where we're headed.
That's a great way to frame it. Speaking of direction, let's look at real-world examples of cities tackling these challenges.
Sure. Singapore often stands out with its Smart Nation initiative. They use technology to enhance transportation, healthcare, and public safety.
I've heard about their traffic management system. How does it work?
It's highly advanced. Sensors and AI monitor traffic in real time, adjusting traffic lights and speed limits dynamically. They also use congestion pricing to encourage off-peak travel and promote public transportation.
So it's not just about deploying tech, but influencing behavior too. What else is noteworthy in Singapore?
They're testing autonomous vehicles and have created a 3D digital twin of the city called Virtual Singapore. Urban planners use it to simulate scenarios like traffic flow or the impact of new construction, improving decision-making.
That's impressive. Let's look at a different approach. Amsterdam.
Amsterdam focuses on sustainability and citizen engagement. Their smart city initiatives are designed around residents' needs and preferences.
A citizen-centric approach sounds promising. How does that work in practice?
Residents collaborate with city planners to identify challenges and co-create solutions, like energy-efficient housing, bike-friendly infrastructure, and community-driven data-sharing platforms. It's all about aligning technology with local priorities.
It's fascinating to see how different cities are customizing their strategies to address unique challenges and priorities. No single approach fits all, but the lessons are universal.
One example is the Smart Citizen Kit. It's a DIY sensor kit that allows residents to collect data on air quality, noise levels, and temperature in their neighborhoods. The data is then shared on an open platform, giving citizens a voice in urban planning.
So it's not just the city collecting data, it's the people too. That's fascinating. What else is Amsterdam doing?
They've implemented smart lighting systems that adjust brightness based on whether there are people or vehicles around, saving energy and reducing light pollution. Plus, they've got some great bike-sharing programs to encourage cycling, which is a huge part of Amsterdam's culture.
It really seems like Amsterdam is focused on creating a livable, sustainable city. Let's switch continents. How about Dubai?
Dubai is known for its ambitious, futuristic projects, and their smart city initiatives are no different. They're aiming to become the smartest city in the world.
I've heard about their city brain. What's that?
It's a central command center powered by AI. It pulls in data from various city systems and optimizes everything in real time: traffic, emergency response, energy distribution, and more.
So it's like the city operates as a single organism.
Exactly, with a kind of central nervous system managing it all.
What other innovative projects are they working on?
They're investing in flying taxis, drone delivery, and using blockchain technology to streamline government services and enhance transparency.
Dubai is certainly pushing boundaries.
Definitely. Even if they don't achieve all their goals, they're inspiring other cities to think bigger and innovate.
It's been amazing to learn about these different approaches. It's clear there's no single formula for building a smart city. Every place has to find what works for its unique needs.
Exactly. The key takeaway is that smart cities aren't just about technology. They're about solving real problems and improving people's lives.
Well said. Exploring AI and smart cities has been a fascinating journey, looking at their potential, challenges, and the ways cities are turning these ideas into reality.
It's an exciting time to see how cities evolve.
Absolutely. The future of our cities is up to us. With thoughtful choices, we can build cities that are not just smart, but sustainable and equitable, where everyone can thrive.
Well said. Okay, Let's talk about some of the challenges holding back IoT and how they impact its potential.
Security and privacy seem like the most obvious ones. I mean, who wants their toaster spying on them?
It's less about the toaster itself and more about the data these devices collect and send. All that data is vulnerable. Remember the Target hack? The attackers didn't breach Target directly. They got in through a compromised HVE vendor, which gave them access to the entire network.
Wow, so even if you trust the company that makes your smart device, you're also trusting every other company connected to the same network.
Exactly. On top of that, there are different ways networks can be attacked. Data breaches are a big one, where sensitive information is stolen. Then there are denial of service, DOS attacks, where systems are overwhelmed with so much traffic that they stop working.
Oh, like when websites go down and you can't load them or stream anything. Wasn't that what happened a few years ago with Twitter and Netflix?
Right. That was the Mirai botnet attack. Malware infected devices like security cameras and routers, turning them into part of a botnet to launch a massive DOS attack.
That's pretty scary. And what about software worms? Aren't those a thing too?
Yes, software worms are another major issue. They can self-replicate and spread across devices, exploiting security flaws to take control. One infamous example was Stuxnet, which targeted an Iranian nuclear facility in 2010. It manipulated machinery and could have caused significant damage.
So it's not just personal data at risk, it's critical infrastructure too.
Exactly. That's why industries like pharmaceuticals are cautious. They deal with sensitive data and can't afford vulnerabilities.
It only takes one weak link to compromise everything.
That's why governments are stepping in to regulate IoT security. For instance, California recently passed a law requiring connected devices to have reasonable security features.
Reasonable security sounds good, but what does that even mean?
It's tricky, because IoT includes everything from smart toothbrushes to connected medical devices. Defining security standards that fit such diverse devices is a challenge.
Beyond security, what else is holding IoT back?
A lack of global internet access is a big one. For IoT to truly work, it needs to be accessible everywhere, not just in cities or wealthy areas.
That's like owning a high-end sports car, but only being able to drive it on a small track.
Exactly. Then there's the issue of connectivity. If a device loses its internet connection, it can't send or receive data, which limits its functionality.
Like if my smart fridge keeps ordering groceries even when the internet is down. Annoying and expensive.
And then there's interoperability. Devices from different manufacturers need to work together seamlessly.
So if I have a smart light bulb from one brand and a smart speaker from another, they should communicate without needing separate apps for everything.
Precisely. If devices can't integrate, it defeats the purpose of a smart home, which is supposed to make life easier, not more complicated.
Instead of convenience, we'd end up with more tech headaches.
That's a real possibility if these obstacles aren't addressed. Solving these challenges is crucial for IoT to reach its full potential.
So it sounds like IoT has a lot of potential, but there are also significant challenges to overcome.
Definitely. But we need to remember this is still a relatively new technology, and it's constantly evolving.
That's encouraging. But what about the devices already out there that might not be secure?
That's a real concern. Retrofitting older devices with new security measures would be incredibly challenging, so it's crucial for consumers to be mindful when purchasing IoT devices.
So we need to choose devices from companies committed to ongoing software updates.
Exactly. It's not just about buying the latest gadget. It's about ensuring the companies we support prioritize security and interoperability.
It sounds like we, as consumers, also need to take a proactive role.
Absolutely. We need to demand better security, stay informed about the risks, and make choices that support a safer IoT ecosystem.
Beyond security, what are some other challenges holding IoT back?
Interoperability is a big one. Devices from different manufacturers often can't communicate seamlessly, which defeats the purpose of a connected system. Then there's the issue of unequal access to technology. IoT needs to work for everyone, not just those in well-connected areas.
So it's not just about innovation, but also inclusivity and usability.
Exactly. Addressing these challenges requires collaboration between industry leader policymakers and researchers to create security standards, promote interoperability, and bridge the digital divide.
It's a lot to think about, but it sounds like progress is being made.
Yes, there are exciting initiatives, like open source platforms encouraging collaboration and standardization. It's not perfect yet, but there's a lot of reason to be optimistic.
This conversation has really shifted how I see IoT. It's not just about convenience, but also about ethics, societal impact, and making informed choices.
Exactly. Having these discussions helps us navigate the future responsibly and unlock the full potential of IoT.
So what can people do to stay informed and engaged?
Stay curious. Read articles, follow industry developments, attend conferences, and join conversations about these issues. Knowledge is power, and informed decisions shape the future.
Got it. So, with awareness and collaboration, we can create a connected world that benefits everyone. But if you think about it, IoT has incredible potential, but there are also big challenges to address.
Definitely. Security, privacy, and equitable access are all issues we can't ignore.
Right. Instead of just worrying about traditional risks, we now have to think about things like our fridge getting hacked and causing chaos.
Exactly. And that's why raising awareness is so important.
So we've talked about security, privacy, interconnectivity, and interoperability. But what about the bigger picture?
One major concern is the societal impact. IoT could worsen existing inequalities if we're not careful, benefiting only those who can afford it or have access to infrastructure.
A two-tiered society where some are connected and others are left out would be a disaster.
It would widen the gap between the haves and the have-nots. We need to ensure IoT is accessible to everyone and used for the benefit of all.
So it's not just about the technology, it's about how we use it and who it benefits.
Exactly. We need to be mindful of the consequences and intentional in deploying IoT technologies inclusively.
The potential is amazing, though. Smart cities, better healthcare, and global access to clean water sound like something out of science fiction.
It's closer than you think, but it all depends on how wisely we use this technology and address the challenges.
So, are you optimistic about the future of IoT?
I am. There are challenges, but there's also enormous potential for good if we stay thoughtful and proactive.
It's definitely an exciting time. But the amount of data these devices collect is still a bit unsettling.
It is, and data privacy and security are critical. If we're not careful, the benefits could come at a high cost.
So, what can we do as individuals to protect our data?
Start by being aware of the data we're sharing. Read privacy policies and be cautious about what you share online.
And buy devices from companies with strong security and privacy track records.
Absolutely. As consumers, we have the power to demand better from manufacturers.
So it's not just about being careful, it's about using our voices to advocate for change.
Exactly. We're not passive consumers. We can shape the future of IoT by being informed and engaged.
This has been eye-opening. Technology is changing our world, and we need to play an active role in making sure it's used for good.
Well said. It's up to all of us to make thoughtful choices and push for a better, more inclusive IoT ecosystem.
Exactly. One thing that is mind-boggling is IoT's projected growth, which is nearly 30 billion devices by 2030. It's staggering, but I'm a bit skeptical. Does the hype match the reality?
That skepticism is valid. With current devices under 10 billion and a 12% annual growth rate, the expansion is impressive, but raises questions about sustainability and driving factors.
One major driver is expanded internet connectivity. It's not just faster home Wi-Fi. 5G is becoming the norm, 6G is on the horizon, and satellites are expanding access to even the remotest areas. It feels like the internet is evolving to support this explosion.
Absolutely. Reliable, robust networks are essential. 5G offers faster speeds and lower latency, while satellites remove geographical barriers, enabling IoT adoption worldwide.
Another factor is affordability. IoT devices are becoming so cheap that they're accessible to almost anyone now.
Yes, affordability is a game changer. It allows not just individual consumers, but also businesses and developing communities to benefit, enabling remote healthcare, smart agriculture, and disaster early warning systems.
It's promising, but is it too idealistic? Then there's smartphone adoption. How does that factor in?
Smartphones are central to IoT's growth. They serve as control hubs, managing notifications and alerts from various connected devices, like security systems or appliances.
That makes IoT more user-friendly but also raises concerns about data privacy. Are we okay with giving tech companies even more access to our lives?
Data privacy is a valid concern and one of IoT's key challenges. But before diving into the downsides, let's consider the excitement around IoT. It's being compared to an industrial revolution.
I'm cautious. Emerging technologies often spark massive excitement, but reality usually brings limitations to light. What challenges are we facing?
Infrastructure investment is a big one. For example, transitioning to electric vehicles in the US could require up to $250 billion for charging infrastructure alone.
That's significant. What other barriers are there?
Market uncertainty is another issue. Many businesses hesitate to embrace IoT due to concerns about ROI, competition, and shifting regulations.
So it's not just about the technology, but the ecosystem surrounding it. Consumers need security and privacy, and businesses need clear profitability.
Exactly. There's also an interesting challenge with smart cities, the aesthetics. Even perfectly optimized designs might not appeal to human sensibilities.
That's fascinating. Efficiency doesn't always equate to livability or beauty. Can you elaborate?
Take the example of an optimized smart city project in Toronto. It failed partly because its highly structured design lacked the organized chaos that people prefer in urban environments.
That's a crucial point. Progress often emphasizes efficiency, but we need to balance functionality with livability and human-centered design.
Agreed. If IoT is to succeed, it must not only address these technical and logistical challenges, but also ensure that it complements the human experience.
There's a lot to unpack here, both the benefits and the pitfalls. IoT paints a picture of a future that's both exciting and uncertain. Let's dive into the fusion of IoT and AI. It's a topic generating a lot of hype, but what does it really mean?
It's fascinating. IoT devices act as the eyes and ears, collecting data from the physical world, traffic patterns, energy usage, health metrics, and more. But that data is just noise until AI comes in, acting as the brain to analyze and extract meaningful insights.
So AI makes sense of the data. How does that translate into practical applications?
Take smart cities as an example. Sensors monitor traffic flow, and AI analyzes that data in real time to adjust traffic lights, easing congestion. In healthcare, AI can interpret data from wearables to detect early health issues. In supply chains, it can predict disruptions, optimize logistics, and improve efficiency.
That integration of the physical and digital worlds sounds seamless. But what about potential downsides like job displacement? If AI manages traffic, diagnoses diseases, and optimizes manufacturing, what happens to the people doing those jobs now?
Job displacement is a valid concern. Automation will replace some roles, but it also creates new opportunities in areas like data science, AI development, and cybersecurity. The challenge is ensuring workers have the training and resources to transition into these new roles.
So it's not just a technological shift, but a societal one. We need to adapt to a world where work is fundamentally different.
Exactly. Another challenge is ensuring the benefits of IoT and AI are equitably distributed. Without that, these technologies could widen existing inequalities, benefiting only a select few.
It's not just about who loses jobs, but also who gains access to these advancements.
Right. Technology is a tool, and how we use it determines whether it empowers or exacerbates inequality. We need to ensure it serves the greater good.
It feels like we're at a critical point, riding the wave of excitement around IoT and AI. But it's important to stay grounded, focusing on real-world applications rather than just hype.
Exactly. The real test of IoT's potential will be in how well it delivers tangible benefits while addressing its challenges: privacy, accessibility, and societal impact. That balance will determine its long-term success.
There's so much to explore: IoT's potential benefits and the challenges it presents. Let's shift gears and focus on how IoT is already making a tangible difference across industries like healthcare, manufacturing, and supply chain management.
Absolutely. One sector seeing major transformation is healthcare. Picture sensors that monitor vital signs continuously and send real-time data to doctors.
That would shift care from being reactive to proactive, identifying potential issues before they become serious.
Exactly. It's also about empowering patients. Smart pill dispensers remind people to take medications, while connected inhalers can alert doctors to worsening conditions. IoT isn't just improving patient care, It's making hospital operations more efficient by tracking equipment, managing inventory, and optimizing energy use.
Healthcare is clearly transforming. What about other industries?
The supply chain is another area benefiting from IoT. Sensors on shipping containers can monitor conditions like temperature, humidity, and location in real time, ensuring perishable goods like food or medicine are transported under the right conditions.
That kind of visibility could reduce delays and losses.
Absolutely. IoT also enables predictive maintenance. By monitoring equipment performance, businesses can address potential failures before they happen, reducing downtime and increasing reliability.
Those same principles apply in manufacturing, where sensors collect data on machine performance and product quality.
It's like giving factories a digital nervous system. AI can then analyze this data to optimize processes, identify bottlenecks, and improve efficiency, moving us towards smarter factories.
While that sounds promising, it also raises concerns about job displacement and inequality.
That's a valid concern. Automation will change the job landscape. Some roles will disappear, but new ones will emerge. The challenge is ensuring workers have the training and support they need to transition.
It's a shared responsibility for governments, businesses, and society to ensure that these technologies benefit everyone, not just a select few.
And that's the real challenge. Balancing IoT's immense potential with the risks it poses.
It's not a simple answer, but by engaging in these discussions, acknowledging the possibilities and the anxieties, we can work toward a future where technology truly serves humanity.
The future isn't something that happens to us. It's something we create.
On that note, let's wrap up today's deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, from the role of AI systems in smart cities to the obstacles currently hindering the widespread adoption of IoT. We also discussed the hype surrounding IoT's future growth, how realistic those projections are, and the challenges that still lie ahead as we integrate more connected devices into our daily lives.
That's right. As we look toward a more interconnected world, it's clear that while IoT offers immense potential, there are still significant hurdles to overcome. From infrastructure investments to market uncertainty, it's going to be a fascinating journey to see how the industry evolves.
And speaking of the future, next time we'll explore how data and AI are playing an integral role in addressing one of the biggest challenges of our time, climate change. We'll dive into how AI is being used to predict, mitigate, and adapt to the impacts of climate change, particularly in agriculture and other vital industries.
Exactly. We'll discuss how AI is already helping us better understand climate patterns and how it's being applied to mitigate some of the damage caused by climate change. But as always, there's a flip side. How unchecked AI could accelerate climate change if not properly regulated.
It's going to be an eye-opening discussion, especially as we explore the intersection of AI, data, and agriculture in managing the impacts of climate change.
Be sure to join us for that next time. Until then, stay engaged and keep thinking critically about how we can leverage technology to shape a better future for all.
Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.